Yeah, welcome back to the Duck Wild podcast with your host Hayden
And Jackson or
and
Bill,
Jackson.
if you're cool like that.
I guess so. All right, what we got?
How about the hogs on Saturday?
Long weekend.
Yeah, that was tequila worthy.
Yeah, we got you
According to
dancing
Better.
this weekend. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess all the guys went out this weekend. About what? When we leave halftime, we went to Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you want to know how our night went, Jackson asked us
Hayden
how
met
often.
a girl.
Oh my God. Jackson asked us how often we see him dancing, and Jackson was dancing.
Word.
That's all right though.
Getting down and boogieing.
That's all right though. We got home safe.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also wanted to take a moment in silence for Nick Chubb's knee,
Yep. Yeah. Been a tough week in fantasy for sure.
especially if you're Jacob Veach.
Yeah. Been a really tough week
Your
in
star
fantasy.
running back's gone.
My Cowboys lost Trevon Diggs yesterday.
Tony Pollard lost me $400
Yep.
because of a
Yeah.
holding call. It wasn't his fault. It was the O-line's fault.
Yeah. That's all right though. We don't condone gambling, but it is fun.
Yeah. I don't know if we can promote that.
It is fun.
I'm going to
though.
promote it. So.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yep.
All right, what we got?
So my plan today was to kind of talk about what the point of this was and
Go.
Duck Wild, like what that's been and
Go.
what hopefully it will be.
Go.
Because what it's been is not what it was supposed to be. It's kind of just been like something we do just on the side
Right.
and kind of wanted to wrap it up a little bit. I think we just started it during COVID. And so we found K-Zone, which is like Dalberius Brothers. And they have a podcast too, so stealing our thunder. But
Yeah. What are the odds that the day that we shot our first podcast was the day that they came out
posted
with their
theirs.
first podcast?
So technically we copied them because they posted first.
Yeah. That was just kind of a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, that would kind of made me upset. I was like, it was cool, but I was also upset about it because I was like, well, that now we went from copying them to like really copying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. We ain't got the same name though.
No, it's not. It's different. It's a different thing. They're a lot more, kind of feel like a hunting TV show than what I have in mind. For us,
Yeah.
it's more just kind of fun hanging out.
Well, right now it's just us.
Right now, it is just us. But, we'll see. We're taking intern applications. You won't get paid anything, but
Yeah.
we have intern applications.
Yeah, you take the ropes on. It was Duck Wild was kind of your idea, I guess. Well, I don't want to say it was all your idea, but you were the one that kind of threw it out first.
Well, we've been talking, again, we have a hard time with, like, we have a great idea, and we really want to do it. But, like, most
We never
people,
do
we
it.
just don't do it. Like, this was an idea for
It was over a year.
over a year. So that's what made me also mad about the K-Zone thing, because I was like, we've had this idea for, like,
Yeah,
a year and
we
just
could've
never
been
did
doing
it.
this
And
for
then
a
as soon
while.
as we did do it, they did it, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right. But, yeah, so we found K. Did you show me K-Zone, or did I find them and come to you, and you were like,
Oh.
already?
I think I already knew who they were before you had sent
I had no
to
clue.
me.
Because I found them, because that was when I was kind of, I really wanted to, I didn't hunt a ton before getting till COVID, but there wasn't much to do. So I was like, well, I want to get into it some more, because I've only done it a couple times. And then I found them and was like, I was big into photography at the time. We could just do like what they did and just capture our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really want to do video because for some reason, I was anti-video for a long time until recently where I was like, you can't just do photo. People want video stuff. Video is like the top tier right now. So there's no
Right.
point just doing photo.
Right.
But at the time, I was like, I just want to take photos of our stuff and have a good time. And I kind of started messing around on Photoshop with like designs and came up with the OG like Target logo thing.
Yeah.
And then I got excited, wanted to make some hats because K-Zone had a bunch of merch and stuff. But the problem with that was we weren't established at all.
It was the funding of it.
It was it's still the funding of it.
Well, because the hats did good. I mean, how long did we have them?
I sold mine in probably a month.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
And that's how I paid for them was I did a pre-sale. So like 20, I ordered probably 50 hats. And I think probably 20 of them were pre-sold. And I used that money to pay for the whole order. And then everything beyond that was like profit.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And we got rid of them quick.
Yeah, I've only got a handful like left when they're mine.
Right.
Like that one's got sweat stains, so you don't want that one. And then the OG one's right there.
Right.
But yeah, I came up with the design. I was like, I want to make some cool stuff, make some shirts. But then it came the problem of like, nobody's gonna buy this stuff. And then they did, and then I don't know. I didn't prepare for it to actually work kind of well, and so it kind of just died off until the next hunting season came around. So this was 2021, and I'd post some, take some photos, but that's about it. And then 22 came around, it's the same thing. It was just kind of like a cycle of like, I have an Instagram account that I'm going to post on for 3 months and then never touch again.
Yeah.
And that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, like a K-Zone, like an outlet to share the stuff that we do.
Well, it was kind of like a learning curve at first because, I mean, we didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah, I still don't. Like with this camera could shut off at any minute and I don't know why. So this is a learning curve just as much. But
yeah.
It was,
I don't know. I don't think we did it in a bad. I don't think we did bad
It
at all.
wasn't bad. It was just there was no effort. It was like there was no goal, and there's still not much of one. It's slowly being developed, but it was like there was no goal. This is solely just because it gives me something to do for the next couple months.
Yeah. Well, and you also got to take into fact we're still in college.
Yeah, and so that was the other problem with time too. So it's like you can't. It's hard to dedicate a lot of time to it, and money when you have neither.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, as college students, obviously your main focus is schooling right now. So, whenever you're like for K-Zone, for example, that's what they do. Like that is their passion, and so you just got to take that into consideration too, because that obviously makes it way more difficult.
And my problem was in my head. I had the end goal already. We were there already in my head for some reason.
Right.
So it's like, oh, we can just start doing it and potentially make money off it or do something with it.
Well, that was another.
I skipped the whole build-up part in my head until I had more school and more experience, and then I was like, no, it doesn't work like that.
I was talking to somebody about that last night, and kind of like how me and you had two different, kind of like looks at it. Because we talked about this recently, but like you kind of had the.
I viewed it as like a clothing brand for a while.
But you were thinking of it from like the money aspect
right,
of it.
I was thinking about just making clothes and like selling them that way.
Right. And then like for me, I was thinking of it for like.
Fun documenting.
Yeah, like, 20 years from now, you can show your kids these videos and stuff like that, and it's kind of cool. That was my thinking of it. So, but I mean, it sounds like we're kind of on the same page of it now.
Yeah, I gave up on just trying to make money off it because like, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's still fun to do. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing it anyway. Might as well.
We have fun with it.
Yeah. But yeah, my idea was just to make. For the last year, I thought about just making like shirts, hats, stuff, and just selling stuff. Like you remember, what did she call it? Callie Stoll's old.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what that was called, but yeah, I remember that.
Because she would make clothes and it sold pretty well. Like you'll see people with their stuff, but I mean she kind of moved on from that. But I kind of had that idea of making just clothes, but then I was like, I don't have the funding to do that per se, and I don't know, it wasn't quite what I wanted to do. I didn't want to dedicate. The problem was I didn't have full dedication in any avenue. It was like, I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to do
You're
this.
just kind of like putting your nose in each
I was just trying different
thing.
things, which I mean that's the learning part of it. But
Right. Well, and the good thing is now, like after we only did hats there for a little bit, but like to know how well it did, as quick as it did.
it's nice to know.
Yeah, it is nice.
And you'll see people wearing them all the time, or like I'll see people that I don't even know or haven't seen in a long time wearing them.
Still wearing them, and that was 2 years ago.
Everybody I know that has one of those has like, they're beat up because
Right.
they wear them so much.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think about it every once in a while, and like, I don't know if we could have done. I mean, we could have done better for sure. Like if we gave more effort, and like we live closer to, like some duck hunting land and stuff up here, but we don't. So it makes it a little bit more difficult because you have to go home on certain weekends.
Yeah. Well, and that's also why it's called Duck Wild, but there's going to be fishing, deer hunting. If we go turkey hunt, there's going to be a lot of variety. If we go play golf, I may film it and throw it on there just because it is called Duck Wild, but that's more of just because that's what it was named. But overall, we're probably just going to end up doing whatever it is we like to do.
Right.
The name doesn't necessarily reflect that. But the primary thing we do end up doing is duck hunting.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to just do a mix of whatever we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people do. Nobody really gives all their energy toward the one thing. I feel like everybody just likes to do what they like to do. So.
Yeah. No, I've been happy with it so far. It's fun. I mean, it's just us. So it's kind of fun just shooting videos, shooting making photos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
For the memory aspect of it.
I had a couple guys a year ago, like some of our pledge brothers who have more money than I do, come up to me and offer to invest in it, like for a percentage. And because of I didn't know what it was worth, what we were doing, anything. I said no, but
Yeah, I'm smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like owing anybody anything when we don't even have anything
I
built.
don't like debt.
No. So I was like, no, I'm good right now. But it was nice knowing that somebody saw enough in it.
Yeah, and like even after our first video, like the amount of people that I've seen like out and about and have come up to me and like, you know, not I want to say praised, but thought that
They enjoyed it more than I thought
like
they
they
would.
really enjoyed what we were doing because there's not a whole lot of people that are doing this, especially our age, So it's kind of I don't know. That kind of makes you feel good that people enjoyed listening and like liked what you had to say, which was nice. So and I mean it was our first,
crazy because I
and
have
it was
nothing to say.
and it was our first video. So I mean, it was a little rough around the edges, but
This one probably will be too. It's gonna take a second to get set up.
Sorry.
There's just a lot of issues, like the camera cut out in the last one, or like
everybody's got to start somewhere.
yeah, we're figuring stuff out. Like I said, I've never been big on video because I'm a photographer. I'm anti-video. I'm not doing it. And then I was listening to somebody talk, and they were like, "If you don't do video, you're stupid." Like with TikTok and Reels and everything, video is king right now, and it probably will be for forever.
The social media outlet now is like never before, especially with TikTok now.
Well, I had a really hard time understanding like how social media worked until finally I got to be like a senior in college. My major is ad PR.
Right.
So finally I got through all these like digital marketing classes, and the curriculum has shifted as I've gone through school from like print. They really focus on print when you're younger, like junior, sophomore level. And then they were like, oh, well, we probably should shift more into digital because of the time.
Yeah.
But so now that I've gone through all these classes, I'm like, oh, that's how that works. Oh, what this is. Oh, that's how that works. So like I have my understanding has grown exponentially on how this stuff works. Like I mean, the first TikTok I've ever posted got 1,000 views on it, which is probably 899 more than I would have gotten a year ago.
Right.
Just because I understood how it worked. And then also we got shout out to Cade McNicholas. He gave me some tips on it too, because he's actually gotten quite a few big.
On TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's weird like that.
Yeah. But he was like, yeah, just do this, this, and this. And I was like, oh, appreciate you.
Yeah. No, I remember whenever you showed me the views after like the first day, and it was like within 24 hours we were like 800 and something views. I was like, holy smokes. Which, I mean, compared to other big that's not a lot. But for the very first video that you post out.
But that shows the power of like video and TikTok. Because like if I'd have posted something if I post that same reel on Duck Wild, like the Instagram, it gets like, well, the reel still gets a fair amount. It gets like 400 something views.
Right.
But if I post like a picture, it gets 30 likes,
right.
60 likes. Like the Instagram's a little dry in terms of photo. But then when I post a video, it turns around and quadruples.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Not everybody was all big and stuff whenever they first started.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a learning curve, which I just kind of sit back and watch you do the magic because I don't understand how to do all that crap. To be honest with you.
That's why it's a good team thing, because I'm the production side and you're the production of animals side.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like a good spot to hunt or like where we went and hung that camera a couple weeks ago, like I had no clue what I'm looking for.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of like scouting and stuff. So like Onyx, that's a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to scout, be able to read the landscapes and stuff like that. So even like duck hunting,
Well, that's why like I will help if I'm asked when it comes to like a decoy spread, but I tend to not touch it. Not so much because I don't want to touch it, but because it's like I don't know what.
I get it.
I know there's supposed to be a shape to it and like getting them to land a certain way, and so I don't want to like screw it up. Yeah. So I usually just either throw them where I'm told or don't touch them.
Yeah, you ain't bothering me with that. It's better than being the guy to not help pick them up.
Right. Yeah, I'll help pick them up.
That's the worst part of it.
Yeah, I went and bought waterproof gloves solely so I could help pick them up. I don't ever put them on unless I'm picking them up.
So your fingers don't get cold?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the worst.
Wet fingers?
Yeah, well, when it's cold, when it's like 30 degrees outside and your fingers are white, that's the absolute worst.
No, I get it.
Yeah. But with the hats, the little V1s, as I like to call them, I had the idea of like retiring those and just doing like limited runs.
Mm-hmm.
So like that wax canvas one I made a prototype
Yeah.
of, that would be like V2, and we would do that. Like,
Yeah, those are sweet.
and even make little cards that say like 1 out of 50.
Yeah.
And only do those 50, and once they're done, they're done.
Yeah. As long as I get one, we're good.
Yeah, I got that. I want to change it because I had took all those product photos for it and was like ready to release it, and then I decided I didn't like the logo because I had
On the new one?
yeah, the one with the duck with the
Yeah, I
the
thought
hat
we
on.
liked. Oh, that's right. We didn't like. You didn't like
No.
that.
I went back to the second one because it was this one, and then I made the one that's on stuff now, and then I made
Where it's spelt out.
yeah, or the DW. There's
I
a
like the DW.
There's a DW version
I like
of
the.
it too.
I think being like simplistic like that goes a long way.
I could throw that on a hat, but then they had that new version with there's like a cowboy hat,
Yeah.
and you couldn't tell what was the build.
I couldn't. I thought it
Yeah.
was wearing a backwards
Because you
hat.
said it looked, I don't know.
I mean, it took you literally pointing out to me exactly what the cowboy hat was for me to be able.
Right, and
to
that's when I was
understand.
like, yeah, probably.
I just kept looking at it and I was like, man, the bill of this duck looks funny.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not the bill. And I was like,
I was like, yeah. I was like, point the bill to me, and you were like, this, and I was like, no, that's the bill of the cowboy hat.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that was dumb.
I was like, it looked
It was
like
worth it. I mean, I was trying to do something funky.
I kept saying it looked like a parrot with a
Yeah.
backwards hat on.
I was trying to be clever,
Yeah.
but apparently not. I mean, I could probably touch it up and try it again, but the second one works good. So
Yeah.
I should
No,
try
I
it.
like
'Cause it's
it.
on that shirt that I made too.
Yeah, I like the new one.
I always tell people that like I've got like a shirt prototype. Like I made a shirt, I made a hat, and they're like, "You gonna sell them?" I'm like,
Not yet.
"No." You wanna fund it?
Yeah, true.
Fund it for 0.5%,
I'll be have to be a after school.
or just yeah,
Type of
or we'll
thing.
have to split something or something. I'll
Yeah.
have to find a good deal. But the shirt, I liked the shirt. The placing was a little off on some stuff. Like I think the logo, the design on the back should have been higher. I mean, you couldn't pull it out and show it. It's in there.
You too.
I also can pull out the new hat too.
It's in here.
Yeah. It's that red long sleeve sleeve.
Yep.
And actually, it's right there on that bag.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. It's inside out. I was wearing it.
Where's the hat at?
And it's cover color. It's a good shirt. The hat is.
Up top.
It's probably either up top or it's in that bag too. Might be in that bag too. So yeah, this. I don't know if you can see it. DW there, and then I took a rendering of a wood duck into Illustrator, and had that made.
Yeah, I like that.
You judged my wood duck, but
Yeah, it ought to be a mallard.
they're my
We
favorite.
only shoot mallards around here. And then,
That's wax canvas too. So if somebody like really wants to throw a fit and make me make
What
them,
the-
I'll do it
funky
with the funky duck.
duck.
Yeah.
That's
But if someone wants to throw a fit, I may try to make them. But otherwise, we're gonna wait on that.
Yeah. No, I ain't throwing a fit. I thought the shirt turned out good. It's
Yeah.
just we need a mallard or pintail. Pintail look pretty sweet.
I just like my wood ducks, man. They're my
I know.
favorite looking duck.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
They're
'Cause
pretty.
They got a little mohawk, but
Yeah.
no, we don't shoot wood duck. That's South Alabama.
All right.
It's Mississippi. They
I've
shoot
never
wood
shot
ducks.
a wood duck.
Well.
I've heard them and see them.
You can if you want. But
They just come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you're
they
like,
do.
You're like, oh, there it is.
as soon as the daylight breaks, you'll see them.
And you're like, oh, there it goes.
Yeah. You got to be looking.
Yeah.
They'll fly right over the top of your
That's how
head.
that widgeon was. Like
Yeah.
the sun came up and it just came diving in there. I think I winged him.
Yeah,
you
I
can see the little clip.
I
line.
think they're pretty. I think they're really, really pretty.
And then I smoked him on the water.
You water
He was
swatted.
swimming. He was swimming in a circle.
You water swatter.
Well, it was half. I got him to the water, and then had to shoot again.
You water
That's why
swatter.
they had to like when they went to mount it. He's supposed to be facing that way.
Mm.
And then they called me and was like, "Hey, he's really screwed up on this side. Can we just turn him the other way so you can't see it?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, that's my bad.
No, that looks good.
I appreciated them calling.
Took them a year to get back to you.
No free shout outs, chipmunks. Do you want to spend $400 on a duck?
Yeah, and it take way too long. I don't know
Take
who
a
that is.
solid year.
Should I grab that?
I mean, if you want to get a call from Alma,
Yeah.
interrupt what's going on here.
I'm at work. Hello? Hello? Stupid spam. Alright, sorry about
I got a
that.
call from Al in Texas yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, this might be the guy I went and did the Dallas Car Show for or something." And I answer it, and it's some lady, and she's like, "Hey, I'm calling about your dental appointment with whoever." And I was like, "Ma'am, I don't live in Allen."
I had a lady call me, I guess it was a week ago, and she was in Little Rock as a real estate agent, asked me if I'm looking to sell my house. I said, "Ma'am, I do not own a house."
I guess I am.
Yeah. I hate spam.
Spam.
Well, but I was afraid. Like now, the thing is there's so many spam calls. But now from working and stuff, like I got a guy I got to meet up here in Springdale next week. Like so, I didn't
Now
know
you
if
have
that
to
was.
answer them.
Yeah,
You can't ignore your phone
'em.
anymore.
And it's annoying. You can pick it up and they're like,
Yeah, you're getting out of the phase of life where you can just ignore numbers you don't know. And now you
yes,
have to answer all of them.
yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
get
how it
that.
was for me when I worked for that contracting company.
Yep.
Every phone call I had to answer it.
That's how I am in the summertime. My grandma, though, she's the worst. But like, she'll pick it up. I'm sure everybody has a grandma that's like this, but she'll pick it up and like carry a conversation with these people, and I'm like, they're just after your money.
They don't care about you. That's funny though.
But like, I'll get on her phone, because obviously she's not all that tech savvy. You'll get on her phone, and she's got so many tabs open, and it's just like people send her text, and it's like click on this link, and I'm like, don't click on that link, but she does it anyways, and I don't know. She don't get it.
Well, have you ever seen like? There's been a lot of stuff about AI recently. You know how like you'd be watching TikTok and there'll be an AI cover of a song by SpongeBob or something.
Yeah.
Well, people apparently have been doing that as other people.
Yeah. Like,
you'll
did you
get-
not hear about the one with Drake?
Uh-uh.
The Drake AI cover?
Uh-uh.
There's a guy, he was I think his TikTok name was like Ghost Rider or something like that. But he did a Drake, and I don't know if it was just Drake or if it was Drake and 21 Savage. But anyways, it blew up.
Yeah.
That song did. And they were like, I think they were given, like it was up for a Grammy or something. It was some big award like that because of how good it was. But yeah, it's getting crazy.
But I mean, like people will call. Like I had a chick in one of my classes that she was like, "Yeah, I got a call from my mom," and it sounded like my mom, like asking me for help, like for like ransom money.
Really?
Yeah, and then she like hung up, and then it was from her mom's number, or from a number close to it, like a number off.
Yeah.
And so she hung up and then called her mom back, and mom was like, "No."
That's crazy.
Yeah. So now anytime I like, you have to like set up like a safe word with your family, or like hang up and call back, which is really screwed up. But
I guess the good thing was it didn't come across as like her mom's name.
no, it
I'm
didn't say
assuming.
like mom. I think it was, but it looked just like her number. So she's probably like, "What?" And
Yeah.
I don't know. Which yeah, that was weird. But I mean, that's a problem that could arise from that,
Yep.
which I never thought about.
We just really got off topic.
That's fine. I ain't got else. That was it. I only had the two things going.
That's it?
Kinda. Unless you got something else.
Guess we can talk about the Ducks Unlimited banquet coming up.
Are we going to that?
I'd like to.
When is it? Like what time is it?
What
I know
time?
what day it is. I don't know what time it is.
Oh, I don't know what time. It's on your birthday. Which one's the one that's on your birthday? There's two of them.
That's the one in Bentonville. The one in November is like the one for Fayetteville. Cause that's the one Henley's dad is wanting to go to.
The one in Fayetteville, which is.
That's the one that Carson Cahill puts on.
Do you remember what the date for that one is?
It's like November 13th.
Oh,
30th,
but it's in
something like
November.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that'd be fun. I mean, that's your birthday to go to the one up in Bentonville.
I mean, they got a table.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun to go watch.
Because I
those.
went to one in Fayetteville year before last, and it was a good time. The auction's cool.
Yeah, I had never been to the one up here.
They do tons of giveaways and stuff.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'd like to go though. That's like what is it? What's the big one that they do in Little Rock? The NWTF.
Oh, the Delta Byways thing? Or what am I thinking?
No, Delta Waterfowl.
Delta Waterfowl
That
thing.
But they're in Mississippi.
What was the thing they hosted at the convention center
Oh, the
that I told you should have gone to when
oh
I was
gosh.
working?
No, that was a. What? Why am I having a brain fart right now? But yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, the only reason I didn't go was because I'd be going by myself. I really did not want to go by myself. No, nobody else was in town that weekend.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It looked cool, though.
I don't remember what I
like
was
all
going for
those
that
big
weekend.
video creator guys that were there, like, what's his name? Zach something. He's got this mustache, makes a lot of videos. Can't remember. And then the dude from...
Colton Kerr was there.
Yeah, Colton Kerr, that one.
Yeah, that'd been fun. I mean, The Rich and Town booth, that's who he was with. So
Yeah.
that'd been pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know if the 24/7 guys were there.
I don't know.
But yeah, no. I'd like to go to the Ducks Unlimited though, coming up. It's fun, like that silent auction and stuff that comes up.
They're cool.
People just spending their money.
There's tons of stuff, spending money. Everybody's getting drinks.
Yeah.
They do a ton of giveaways too. Like if you buy something, you pretty much have a chance to win something.
Really?
They give away stuff like every hour, something like that.
Really? That's like
They give away shotguns and hunting trips and.
Sam Looney. He just won at the convention that they had this summer, or I guess a couple months ago, whenever it was. He won a whole case of the Fiochi shells.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they were like giving out stuff over the hour, and he won a full case of them.
Should we talk about our unnamed friend who sleeps till 4 and barely goes to class?
He's probably gonna see this.
No, he won't. He doesn't care enough to watch it.
Okay. Let's get after it then.
So, unnamed friend who lives right there. Our Lucky's gonna see it and be like, "Why y'all talking about me?"
Well,
He said he wanted to come on here.
he did say he wanted to come on here, but this is us being good friends. I want somebody to hold me accountable.
I'm concerned about him a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
concerned about you.
Lots of sleeping recently. At 10:30 in the morning, falling asleep.
Yeah, that's the first time.
That's
he comes down. So he comes
crazy.
downstairs. I'm watching TV at 10:30 in the morning, and he sits on the couch. Says, "I haven't gone to bed yet." Falls asleep till 3:30 or
Yeah.
4:30, whatever time it was, on the couch
I can't.
while I'm watching 1923.
I'm like a grandpa. Like
I'm in the middle. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Recently, I haven't been. I need to be.
no, I'm a grandpa. I fall asleep. I don't want to say early, but I mean earlier than both of y'all.
You're in bed by like 11:30
Yeah.
midnight.
I try to get up in my room by like 10:30 or 11.
I need to get in a better habit doing that. I was good during the summer when I was working, and now
Yeah.
I'm not. It's like I have no point to go
Yeah,
to
when
bed.
you're working constantly, you have no problem.
Well,
Getting
you have a point to go to bed, and like you have things to do, and you're tired. But then like, my earliest class is 12:55,
Yeah.
so I have even on the days where I have class, I have no reason to go to bed early.
Yeah, like my schedule this summer was seriously wake up at I don't know 7:30, get ready for work. I mean, I worked at home, so being online at 8, working until 5, getting off, going straight to the gym for an hour or two, and coming home eating.
A little more learning curve. Apparently, you can only record for 30 minutes at a time, so I gotta figure that out too.
Yeah.
But what we got onto was, what were we talking about, like Gray getting up? Like Gray
yeah.
Gray picking me up
Well-
and getting a speeding ticket.
Oh yeah.
We talked for another like good 10 minutes before we realized that.
Yeah.
So whoops.
Let's talk about the Hogs this weekend.
Okay, skip
What's
over
your-
Gray.
yeah.
Gray got a speeding ticket going into a town about this big. Watch your speed traps. But
Yeah.
moral of the story. Carry on.
Let's talk about the Hogs. What's your prediction this weekend?
I'm sure we'll lose. Even if it looks like we're not going to, I'm sure we will.
Have you seen all the heat on Sam? That like
Yeah.
Which, and we've got crazy fans in and of itself, anyways. But like, I can't open Twitter without somebody going for Pittman's head.
I mean, yeah. Which, well, that last game was kind of seemed like it was just poor game management in general towards the end.
Yeah. Like I saw a lot on his choice of, the fourth. It was like in the fourth quarter. It was 4th and 1, or maybe it's the third quarter, 4th and 1 play. I don't know. I mean, you got a 250-pound quarterback, and you don't line him up under center.
Yeah, that happened a lot. He was in shotgun a lot.
Yeah.
For a big dude.
Right. But yeah, no, the spread is 17.5.
Like, us or them?
Them. I think we cover that.
Cover? Sure. Win?
I think our defense will do pretty good.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
It's also in Louisiana, so.
Yeah, at night.
Yeah.
In Baton Rouge. I would have liked to have gone down there. It was just gonna be kind of expensive. Mm-hmm. Like I was looking at flights and stuff, and it'd be.
But did they still hold the title for, like, the loudest stadium?
I don't know. Well,
I know that was, like, a thing for a while.
last
That is
year, I
really
think
loud.
Georgia had it. I think Georgia had taken over that title.
Yeah. 'Cause I know, like, for years, it's always been, like, Death Valley's the loud one.
Yeah. I tell you what's cheating though is Mississippi State and those stupid cowbells.
It's pretty dumb.
I don't know how that's allowed.
Well, it's not anywhere else. It's just like they'll
I
bring
know.
them in there. But if they took it to like here, they'd be
I didn't
like,
have to yell.
you can't bring that stuff into stadiums most of the time.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good game though.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Or most
Well,
of it.
we're gonna watch
I'll watch at least half of it.
and make our tacos.
Like tacos. Cowboy Kent Rollins
Yep.
is, what do they call it? Biera?
It's Birria. Is how you spell it.
Biera?
I don't know if he rolled his tongue.
Birria?
I don't know if he rolled his R or not.
Birria?
Yeah. Anyways, what was it? Short rib tacos.
It's short rib and chuck roast?
Chuck roast.
Yeah. Covered in stuff. And
Yeah.
cheese.
They're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that oral and our
Let the meat cook for 4 hours.
in our what's the pot called? The Dutch oven.
Dutch oven.
Yeah.
Finally get to christen it.
The worst part will be is if we spend all that time tomorrow.
And they're just
I mean, it's probably gonna take us a couple hours to do it, and then it's just nasty.
Like, they just don't taste good, or we didn't cook it right. Like, our fault, or just the food in general?
Our fault.
Our fault, yeah. It's like, actually, I think it's like more if the food in general just wasn't good.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I doubt. It's just meat and cheese.
But like the way he was acting, because he was doing his little happy dance after he got done
It
with
can't
him.
be the food's fault.
Yeah,
It's our
no,
fault.
it definitely have to be us that messes it up. So.
Yeah.
As long as we keep John Henry away from it, we'll be good.
Yeah. No, he won't touch it. He doesn't help anyway. That dude.
We love him. We love him.
Buy some toilet paper, damn it.
Yeah.
Dude's like, did you buy toilet paper today? I'm like, no. Did you? No. Looks like you're using your hand.
I got my own bathroom.
Yep.
I'm glad I do
I'm
now.
gonna keep a stash in here just so he has to finally go get his own.
I mean, we live 3/4 of a mile from a Walmart, and it's a small Walmart. It's not
Yeah.
like you even gotta go walk all the way through it.
You don't have to walk all the way through it in a big one. It's like halfway down.
Well, it's
they
typically
moved-
in the back.
They did move it to that because it used to be up in the front. Like if you walk in the left doors,
Uh-huh.
it was like food and it was right there.
Yeah.
They moved it.
No,
You're
it's
right.
all the way in the back.
You're right.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of you're right, our argument from C3 the other day about the muscle mass thing.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's get into that again.
We did finally settle it, so like this is more of just a story than it is an argument.
Yeah, let's get into that.
But what was your?
Okay, this was our argument. We got on the topic of
Out of water.
who can lift more, a short man or a tall man. And so, like my example is there's these guys on social media, and they're called the Trend Twins. Like they've blown up here recently, but I'm not exaggerating, like 5'7", 5'8". I mean they're pretty short dudes, but they're huge. Like they're just straight muscle. But they can also bench like a stupid amount of weight. Like that's their big thing is benching. They want to have these big old chests. But then you look at a guy like Bradley Martin, for example. Everybody knows who Bradley Martin is. He's massive, 260 pounds is what he says. The Trend Twins that are 5'8" can bench a lot more weight than a 260 pound, 6'3" Bradley Martin. So that's where our debate came in, was who can lift more weight.
Because you were saying short people can, because the range of they're not having to push it as far.
Right.
And I argued that, well, if I'm bigger, I have more muscle. You were saying it was stretched a little bit or elongated, but I
Right.
was saying you had more muscle fibers made up that would make up for it. And we argued about this for like a couple of days, off and on,
Yeah.
randomly. And then we even roped in some of our buddies, Chase, Shipper, Bettner. Was it just the 5 of us?
Yeah, it was just 5 of us.
And we were standing in a parking lot arguing this out. And then finally, with the magic of Google, I found the answer that we were looking for was short people can push more relative weight. So because they're smaller, the explosiveness there's more of it. The momentum can go. But then like a bigger person can overall move more weight. It's just a matter of it takes them longer to be able to move it than it does someone shorter. Someone shorter can hit their max a lot faster than someone taller can.
Right, because
bigger.
that taller person, it takes them a lot more, I don't know how to say this, but like to fill their mass equivalent to a shorter person in order for them to be able to lift more weight. You know what I mean? Like obviously if you're bigger, but if you're trying to look like equivalent, the Trend Twins, they're big, but they're short. If you're trying to look big and tall, you obviously got to put in a lot more work to be equivalent to that, to be able to lift a weight relevant to your body type than being bigger.
Moral of the story, though, is that me and him tend to argue over the dumbest some of the dumbest things on the planet, and they tend to like we're both right 99% of the time.
Yeah, next time we get in an argument, we might just pick up a camera and video
Record
it.
Yeah, because the last one we had was this probably 2 years ago, and it was over Paul Walker's the color of his car in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yep.
Yours was like green, or you said green or yellow,
Yellow,
and I said the
awesome.
opposite. And we argued and argued for a good couple hours.
Yep.
Off and on.
Without looking it up.
And then we just decided, oh, hey, let's look it up because it's 2023, and it's like it's one of those colors where like when it's in the shade it looks yellow, or when it's in the sun it looks yellow, and then it turns.
Well, it's whenever it's
both.
in the sun, but as it passes,
It's
what's
like
that called?
Like a holographic kind of
Yeah, maybe.
almost.
Yeah, and it changes color, so it's yellow and it fades to green.
Yeah. So we argued for nothing again.
Yep.
And it happened a third time too, but I can't remember when it was.
Yeah.
It was smaller of an argument, but it still happened a lot.
Yeah, no, we like to argue.
I brought this up to Henley last night. I was like, me and you are like almost like there's people who are kind of opposite. Like we and you are like almost dead opposite from me. Like the way our brains work. It's like you're here,
But we still stick
you're
around.
here, I'm here.
Not on everything.
Not on everything, but like on. It's not so much on like what we think of things, but it's like the way we think of like how things are done, or like.
Okay, but in my thinking of it is if we were the exact same, then it'd be boring.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've known each other since we were like tiny, so like we've kind of been stuck with each other.
Yeah, I know.
But like, imagine if we both were. I mean, and being, like I said, we're not opposite on a lot of things.
No, and we're into the same stuff.
Right.
Like, we
But I'm
both
talking about
enjoy
like
doing
even like our
things.
beliefs and stuff like that. Majority of the part, we're on the same level.
It's not even. It was hard to put into words. I did it good last night. It was like the way we look at like how things should be handled. The way, and it's not on everything. You're right, but it's just like I don't know. There's certain things where like we're the same up until a degree, and then it's like no shot. I'm not doing it that way.
Right.
Like I remember my example was, remember outside of there was a tailgate or something outside of, was it like Stevie Gibbs' place or her dad's place? Over there.
Oh, at the 3-story place. Okay.
You know that little grass berm that goes down?
Yep.
And I slid down it
Yep.
for fun.
Yep.
And they got my jeans all green.
Yep.
You said to me, you're like, why would you do that? And I said, because it was fun. And you're like, well, you just ruined your jeans. And I'm like, in my head, it's the experience trumps.
Oh my gosh.
Like the fun, the
Okay.
having fun trumped my jeans.
So with that
in your
example-
head, trumping the jeans trump having a good time.
So in that example,
It's a terrible
you
example.
sliding down a 15-foot hill is worth ruining a $50 pair of jeans.
They weren't ruined. They're still in there and they're still clean. They're right there.
There's no way that's done.
They're fine.
There's no way that one pair of jeans is the exact same pair of jeans
It is.
from 2 years ago.
That's the
There's
only
no
pair of
way.
jeans I've had in the past 2 years.
There's no way.
I clean them all the time.
There's no way.
I promise.
No. But yes, we are wired a little bit differently
Yeah.
on some things. But, I mean, like I said, though, imagine if we were like the exact same on everything. Then it'd just be boring.
Yeah, but in my head, I take care of stuff. Like I don't. If something breaks, I do get upset that I broke it or ruined it.
Oh, I do too.
But like with that camera, if it's, I'm gonna have it out over water when we're duck hunting. Like I'm gonna be holding it, and there's gonna be water right there. And a lot of people would not ever take it in that situation. But if in my head, it's like the results you get from taking it somewhere it's really not supposed to go are gonna be 1,000 times better than the chance of like hurting it.
What does that have to correlate with what we were just talking about?
I'm like taking care of your stuff, like the gene thing.
Oh,
Like the gene thing.
like taking care of your gene. I
Yeah.
was like, hold up.
But that's just all.
What does that have to do with anything we
Okay.
just said?
I'm talking about like the gene thing. I take care of my stuff, but I think that the end result or the experience always trumps the actual item
Yeah,
to a degree. I mean, I'm not gonna like.
I mean,
I'm
that's
not gonna
part
go
of
dunk
it,
it in the
though.
water.
that's
But
part of it, though. You know, I mean, we knew getting into this. You go and duck hunting, you're in the water.
yeah, but it is a risk. I do try to be careful with it.
Yeah. No, I kind of like that. We saw a clip the other day of some guys that they had a GoPro sitting out in the spread, like shooting back at the timberline that they were standing in. That was
And there's
pretty
a risk
sweet.
of it getting lost in the water, like a duck maybe lands on it and knocks it over,
Or somebody shooting it.
or somebody shooting it, and that is a risk. But at the same time, it's like the
Gray
risk-
Smith, if you shoot my GoPro, I'm popping a hole in your waders.
But putting it there had like the shot was super cool, and it's a shot that now you said it yourself. You're like, that's really unique. I've never seen anybody do that.
Yeah.
And it's like you do. That's the risk reward system. Like you do risk your equipment, but at
Right.
the same time you get something nobody else
Yeah.
gets.
I mean, the chances of you shooting a duck and it landing right on it are slim, very, very slim.
I'm
But
just
it
saying,
is
if one
still
just
there.
came in to land there and
Yeah.
clips it,
No, I agree.
or somebody, the odds are higher that somebody shoots it.
Yeah. Now I think that'll be fun to experiment this year. Kind of like, you've obviously upgraded your equipment like tremendously versus last year, so kind of being able to experiment with things this coming season. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I had a point on the gray thing, I think, but I can't remember what it was. It wasn't anything big. It's just, popping a hole in waders. I might need new waders. My crotch is wet.
Yeah. Frog Tog, if you're seeing this, please send them our way. Frog Tog makes the best waders for the bang for your buck. 100%. Unless you go and buy your $1,000 stick of waders.
At some point, I do want to try Bandit's new updated version. They got rid of the seam.
I like the new zip up waders that they've got. The front zip. I would like to get Frog Tires makes a pair too, but I'd like to get a pair. And I know that Sitka and that's like how they all do theirs, but I'd like to get a pair of those. Make it way easier to take on and off.
The amount of people that have complained about their hole the hole comes in the crotch, like that's where people get it.
Right.
And so they, I think, finally got away with they did away with the seam there.
Yeah.
So I would like to try another pair and see if that helps. Because that's like the only complaint I've heard is it's in that area. It's never been like, oh, it's in the boot, it's in this. It's always been
right
between the legs.
No, I've only had, my first pair was a pair of neoprene Cabela's, and they were nice in the cold weather.
Those are my teal
Yeah.
waders because they're thin.
I mean, they're nice.
Thinner.
They're nice in the cold weather because they're obviously neoprene and stuff, so they're a little bit thicker. But I'm telling you, those Frog Togs, I think we're on my 4th season with them now, 3rd or 4th season with them. I don't think you can beat them for the price. I mean, I think I paid, which I got them on Black Friday at Fort Thompson, and I think I paid like $250 for them, which ain't a lot.
Well, even then, my Bandit waders, I got them between 2020 and 21, like that season, because I was using the Cabela's for 2020.
Right.
So I've had them for 2 seasons, and they've only got a hole. I mean, the hole's like
minuscule.
You don't notice it till you're standing there for a long time, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's a little wet.
Yeah, but you can't zip that liner out on the inside, can you?
Put duct tape over it.
Well, I was thinking you could probably spray like Flex Seal on them. People have done that.
I could do it on the outside.
Yeah, no, you could do it on, like, even if you got like clear Flex Seal, but like, so the Frog Talk was the liner comes out on the inside, so people will take that Flex Seal and like
Put it on the inside.
Put it on the inside of it, and it'll.
No, I don't think it does.
So, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this season.
I'd like to play with them. I'd rather not have to buy new ones.
Hey, were you the one that was telling me about the cold weather? Like something about the sun rotating this year, and like it's supposed to be colder this year. Somebody showed me a video of a guy that was like, he was talking about the sun's rotation around the earth and like with it pivoting, and every so many years it resets. Oh, it was Gage.
It's like
Gage.
This winter's going to be particularly
cold. And that this winter is supposedly supposed to be colder, like the coldest we've had in a while or something like that. And so, like, it's supposed to be really good this summer. Or this winter. Gage sent me that.
I mean,
it was a guy on TikTok, and he, like, did all this research
so
and
it
stuff.
must be true.
Yeah, I know. But he, like, did all this research and stuff. And I think he pulled up some stuff from Ducks Unlimited website.
Maybe.
And it was talking of, and it, like, this might not be true, but I found it kind of interesting. But it was with, it was like it's like 80 something years, but it's the way that when the sun's rotating, or the Earth's rotating around the sun, and like the way it pivots, it's, this past summer it was like super hot.
Yeah.
And it warms up progressively over the years.
Like this past summer, like this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
They said like this July was the hottest July we've had in 120 years.
I mean, it was like 100 for multiple days. Already.
Yeah. And so they said, but like the way that it pivots, it's supposed to warm up gradually, because, like, there's been days in the December that we've had like 70-degree days, which is just weird. But apparently this coming winter, the way it's supposed to like almost reset it.
Is that why it's been so cool this September?
Maybe.
Like, it hadn't been hot, but it also,
like it got
it's
cool.
been like 80s,
all of a sudden.
70s. Yeah.
But at night,
At night's been 50. Like,
Yeah.
I checked that trail cam. There's a doe out there this morning.
No.
And it was like, it said 50 degrees.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Come on, chair's about to squeak. Ready? Every time. Hey, this chair's older than I am.
Um, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good season. But I gotta buy me some more decoys. I've got a half dozen. I gotta get that. Well, I have one and a half dozen. I gotta buy the other half dozen. But then Max Prairie Wings does that sale. They do a dozen Dakota flocked head decoys with the bag, and it's like $220.
Go stop by Fort Thompson. No free shout out.
No, it's Max.
Max Prairie Wings.
Yeah.
No free shout out.
Yeah. No, they. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So.
I was talking to, this was a while ago, but a guy that I used to work for. He was saying that he was talking to a guy saying that part of the reason, or at least in terms of like hunting fields, is hard right now with like birds, is because like the advancements in farming. This was their theory. The advancements in farming, there's less spillover.
Oh.
Like when you go harvest wheat, corn, whatever.
Yeah.
It's getting so good that there's barely any spill, so they're landing in less fields because there's way less food. Because normally they would just eat off the stuff that was spilled or left or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, that's a fair point. Because as the technology gets better, they're going to spill and waste less.
And obviously
less
that's the whole point of the farming technology is to be the most efficient
to
they can be.
maximize. Yeah.
Huh. I mean, we don't have fields, so.
No, but I still thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is actually pretty interesting. That's a good thing for us, though.
With the amount of birds I saw in Kansas, though, I beg to differ. But
you're still going to see them in field. It's
Yeah.
not like all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're just not going to be in field.
But it was like the number will gradually, or you'll see them, they'll all be in one field as opposed to being spread across multiple. They're going to find one good one and go with that one.
Yeah. But then eventually that one's going to get ate up.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of all being spread across lots of fields, they're going to be like a mass of them field hopping.
Yeah.
So if you have the right field that day, you're going to have a good day.
Yeah.
If anything, you should encourage spillover.
Yeah.
Like if you want a good field, like don't max, just let a little fall out.
Right. Open bucket before you take off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, obviously I don't keep up with
And
that.
it was a theory. He was talking to some guy that he knows that does a lot of farming down in southeast Arkansas.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. We don't hunt fields though, so.
I'd like to though. I enjoyed it the one time.
Yeah, we had fun whenever we went that one time, but something about being in the timber. Something about like blowing a duck call and like hearing it echo throughout the woods.
Yeah, you like hearing yourself.
Is like, yeah, it's satisfying. And like just seeing them up there, and whenever they come and land, they're dropping like almost straight down. I mean, makes it a little bit easier to shoot them, but there's just like a satisfying part of it.
Yeah.
You got to work them pretty good.
So how are we gonna rope John Henry into this? He wants to be on here at least once.
I don't know.
Should we just tell him no?
I'm fine with telling him no.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
I was going to talk about just for a second, like what we heard at C3 on Wednesday. Cause I got your take on it in the car afterward, but
Yeah.
not fully. I'm going to be proactive though, because we're at 20 minutes on this clip, so I'm going to pause it, start it back, and then we'll go from there.
Wow. What's that?
So it doesn't cut me off mid-sentence.
Oh, that's true.
Because I'm tired of that happening. That's it. We're learning. We're learning. Letting it just cut you off mid-sentence.
All right. Well, I guess we'll do our. Not so much a what you're reading.
I didn't read much of it.
Yeah, it was I did my devotion the other day, but I don't have it in here with me. So we'll talk about what we talked about at C3 though.
Because for you, it didn't register that way. You didn't care too much for it.
It's not that I didn't care too much for it. It was more. It just didn't sit with me as well as it did with you.
I can.
Did you take your notes?
Oh, so I can read it. I got my big one with my big words, so I don't have to squint.
Golly, it's like you're an old man.
I like it though.
Good
I recommend it.
grief.
It's a good for like at home.
Yeah, I guess if you're blind.
I still take it with me. But it was Matthew 13:31, the parable of the mustard seed and the yeast. Because it was the yeast one that you didn't care too much for.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was kind of like the way he was describing it, but it would. I don't know. It made me feel like I was in a baking class. Like he spent a lot of time describing on how to make bread first, and then in order to understand how the scripture went, you had to know how bread's made, and it just kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't call it a stretch, but it was like you sure have to know a lot to understand.
Yeah,
that.
and that was the only thing that kind of threw me off because I was like sitting there. I was like, okay.
Because the first part was the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. though it is the smallest of all seeds, which he showed us. They're like, I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't even see it. They're like that big.
Yeah.
Yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch on its branches. And that one made sense because it was talking about like if you have, it was Matthew 17:14 through 20 or whatever. Mustard seed is used a lot. Talking about like even if you have just that much, you can work with it. And then the one you were iffy on was the kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then he showed us, I believe they call it starter, and it's like yeast, flour, and water
Yeah.
in a little jar. And it's like talks about how like the yeast was the beginning, and it changes and does like a chemical reaction and makes something different, and takes your mustard seed and makes it something else.
Yeah. But like I think
but in order for you to know that, you had to know
what the starter was.
how to make bread.
Yeah, and that was the only. I mean, I was kind of See, my interpretation of this was we are the mustard seeds, and like God has placed us on earth to help spread His word. So like you're talking about planting a mustard seed and it grows. That's how I understood it as, in we are the mustard seeds, and it is our job to spread His word and grow it.
And I think that's why some people struggle with the Bible, just because there isn't.
Oh,
At some points it is literal, and at other points,
hands down.
that's why he
people,
talks in parables, because it does mean a lot of things.
Right. I mean, everybody's got a different point of it.
And I think that's why he did it, was so that way it's like, not so much that it means something different to everyone, but it's so that you really get, if you learn what everyone thinks it means and you put it into a big bubble, it all fits into the same idea of this.
Yeah.
Like this same idea is covered by that one thing. So like for you, it was a lot of people. The mustard seed was people. By him, the mustard seed was faith.
Yeah.
You put those together, and it's both.
Right.
It is both.
Yeah, that was kind of my interpretation of it. But then like the yeast one, I'll be honest with you, I did not really understand how he was talking about that. I was like trying to wrap my head around it, and I was like,
See, for me, I don't know if I told you the last time we recorded this that I was like kind of having a struggle moment or whatever.
yeah.
And then, I don't know, I just felt like he was talking directly to me the whole time. I understood every word. I felt like he was calling me out. like straight up. I was like, this dude is talking to me. And then...
It's a good thing, though.
Yeah. And it helped a lot, and it was good. And I talked to Henley about it after. But yeah, it was very different. Because I asked you about it afterward, and I thought it was odd that you didn't feel the same way, but it made sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, something about it just didn't sit right with me. But the mustard seed, that was my interpretation of it. We are the mustard seeds, and He's put us on the earth to help grow His word.
See, one of my favorite things about T3, which if you're in Fayetteville, you should go, was I always liked when he writing down what he says between what he's saying. It's like there's a thing he puts on, like he'll write this down or he'll talk about a verse or whatever. But I like writing down like the random thing that'll pop in his head or something that he'll say. So like he said, he's asking for the mustard seed at the beginning, not a huge faith, but you can't put together on your own. So he's not asking for you to come at the end where your faith is this big that you've put together on your own. Like you can't do that. You bring this, and then He'll turn it into this.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I feel like me, like that was one of the problems I was having was, I felt like I should be like this, like it should be this massive thing, and it wasn't. And I was like, well, I can't do this because it's not. But then he's just saying, no, it's even just this is enough.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, it's a good thing that we have. I mean, this conversation started. That's just like after we got out of church the other day, the first thing we did whenever we got in the truck, we started talking about it. So.
Yeah. And also he said yeast lasts for generations.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
And I think too, like with us recently, me and you were the first ones that kind of got started going. But like I guess I told you the other night too. Now, like our friend group that goes, we take up almost a whole row.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Well, it's funny because like I was chaplain at Sigma too, and I tried to get people to go, and
Right.
I could never get it to work, and I kind of just gave up on it, which
Right.
wasn't the appropriate response, but it is what it is. My problem is I wish I could be chaplain again now. Because at the time I did it, but I think I told him.
I think you're more invested into it now.
Well, I told Merle or something. I think my confidence is higher in it now.
Yeah.
It used to be at the time I was like, okay, I'm supposed to lead a group of guys in this, and I'm like, I was so nervous and scared to do it that I never did it really.
Right.
And now it's more like I was given the confidence, but it's a later time, so now I'm having to do it now, which isn't a bad thing. if anything, it's more important to do it now than.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always important, but I don't know. I feel like at the time it was not my thing. I'm looking for what I'd exclamation pointed. So I don't know where stuff is. But yeah, that is one of the things I look back and not a regret, but it's like I definitely could have done better. Where's it at? I don't even remember what this said. I just wrote down the verse. Have any fun stories? Do you do anything cool? How are the kids?
I was thinking you just said that something earlier. Why to bring Henley on?
Okay.
That'd be funny.
She'll just talk shit about me.
And then I'll bring my girlfriend on.
Word?
Psych.
Word?
I ain't got one.
Zechariah 4:10. I already know what it says. That's 6.
Huh?
That's 6:10, not 4:10. Who dares despise the day of small things, since the 7 eyes of the Lord that reigns throughout the earth will rejoice when they... Is that what he said? I might have written that down wrong.
He was moving too fast for me to take notes on the other.
Yeah, he was going. Something about who dares despise the day of small things. Saying like small things, I can't remember what it was. I exclamation pointed it,
Oh, yeah.
but
That's it.
I can't remember why. Never mind.
All right.
Tangent.
Well, I guess that was a new conversation. Everybody's kind of got their own.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I always find interesting. Because some people find it as like a hindrance or like a... That's why they use that to fault the Bible or something. It's like, well, everybody has their own interpretation. No one agrees on anything.
Right.
It's like, well, people are also knuckleheads sometimes. Like, some people just suck.
True. Yeah, I mean,
Like, it's not necessarily the book. It's not the book's fault. Sometimes it's just the person reading it. Because, like, even in history, like, people will take a good thing and twist it.
right.
Like, that's just how.
Well, but I
some
mean,
people
like,
just
it's
do
not
that.
wrong for you to have your own interpretation of it. I mean, that's the whole.
And usually, everybody's interpretation in some way is connected to the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have a different point of view of it. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to have different points of view of it. But then it starts these conversations, and then that's whenever, you can kind of have, I don't know, some agreements on things and look at it from somebody else's point of view. And I don't know. I think it's a good thing, though. So, all right, you got anything else?
No, that went from having, like, nothing written down to have quite pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it went.
Winging it.
Other than the camera cutting out, you missed out on Gray's getting a ticket story.
That's all right. We can say that for another day. We'll bring him on someday.
We'll bring him on, have him tell you about the ticket and his haircut.
Yep. All right. We good?
Yeah. Thanks for watching or listening. If you're on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, ring the little bell,
And on Spotify.
give it a tickle.
Can you like it on Spotify?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Follow us on Spotify.
Yeah.
I guess if you can.
Don't miss one. Or do. Who cares? Do what you want. I really don't care.
All right. Peace.